Thanks, Uncle E, and that was a nail-biter. Sad that Kwiatkowski did not get the 4-peat, but here we're talking about a 6-peat. No athlete has ever got a 6-peat at an X Games winter event. The man in the green, Tucker Hibbert, he is going for it here today. SnoCross final off the line. Oh, gets hung up and almost off the side of the track for Tucker Hibbert. Man, who went down there? We see a sled off the side of the course. Tucker Hibbert is second place, chasing up the hill. And here we go.
This is the battle I was looking for, Tessa. Ross Martin off to a great start with Tucker right on his heels.
Well, Ross Martin knows a thing or two about racing, but Tucker Hibbert is so dominant in this sport, it will be a very hard task for Ross to keep him in the back.
I think he's going to do the same line, jumps inside.
Oh, and I think he's going to get it. Hanging on, looks like he's got in front of Martin. He has the line. Martin trying to tuck inside to retake it. Well, already an exciting lap one, and Tucker Hibbert has taken the lead away from Ross Martin.
Ross has just got to keep pace. You don't see many mistakes or bobbles by Tucker, but with how rough and gnarly this course is, anything can happen.
So Martin's in second, then Tremblay is chasing down Ross Martin. And interestingly enough, the story we talked about, Cody Cam, who won the LCQ, is in fourth. He's right behind Tim Tremblay.
Real curious to see. It looks like there's a lot of shadows, a lot of light on the track right now. So you got a lot of different definition. The guys could struggle with that with the roost.
And one of the things that we saw earlier was Tucker Hibbert actually walking the track right before this final. The only racer on that track looking at the state of this snow. And for more on that, let's go down to the third member of our team, Jamie Little. Jamie.
And Tess, that is definitely an advantage for Tucker. He walked it right before they got on the line. I asked him what he learned. He said the course got really rough. The snow has gotten wetter, so that affects the track on their snowmobile. He also said all these shadows, he knew what to expect, and it's paying off already this early.
Yes, it certainly is. He's putting a little bit of gap right now on Ross Martin already. Look at him fly over that super booter. 130 feet tip to tip, about 150 feet is where Tucker was flying to. And this shadow is just going to increase as the race progresses, Chris.
It was curious to see that there was no grooming done in between the LCQ and the final. So this track is in the worst condition that it's been, and I think that really plays into Tucker's hands just because of how smooth he is and how good his Fox shocks are set up on his snowmobile. I talked to a lot to his crew chief. They've worked countless hours on the suspension setup. You know, although the tracks are big here at X, they can get whooped up, especially with the texture of the snow here. You know, it plays into Tucker's hands that he spent a lot of time on sled setup.
So heading up the hill there, a battle between Tremblay and Cody Cam. And down Cam goes.
There's that line I was talking about. Just out of control, the 18-year-old just keeping the throttle down going on the uphill section.
He's going to need to be careful. I mean, wild youth needs to take care of not running over one of those tough blocks and just punching him off the side of the course.
I think careful in the age of 18 don't really go hand in hand there.
Oh. Down off the course there, Logan Christian. And they'll try to get that sled out of the way. And of course, you heard Tucker Hibbert in the LCQ talk about Logan. He wanted him to transfer, so he will not be happy to find out that Christian is now out. And it seems like this shadow is it's increasing every lap.
Two very drastic conditions with the pure bright sunshine and then the shadows. Again, those guys battling the roost from the other machines are really at a disadvantage. Tucker obviously in the clear here. He's got clear racetrack ahead of him. Man, he's just so smooth, just incredible to watch.
big downhill jump there. Tucker Hibbert looking very cool right now. He is traveling under this jump as most of the other riders actually come up and over it. Looking for Ross Martin. We don't see second place. There it is now. That is Ross Martin. It's about a 7-second time differential there. Martin is being followed by Tremblay, then Cam, then Narsha. So all of the races we expected to see up at the front here are up at the front. Now it's just a matter of who has the stamina for this full 16 laps of beating and pounding on our X Games Aspen course.
Well, Tess, not only the stamina, I mean, we're only lap 6 of 16. What really plays into my mind here is the equipment. This is absolute torture on these machines. Pinned wide out for 16 laps. I really hope it doesn't come down to sled failures. And I guarantee that's what the riders are thinking of when it comes down to the low.
There's Ross Martin heading over the Super Booter. The question really is, at this point, do you think any of the rest of this field will be able to gain on Tucker?
I just don't see how. I mean, Tucker, his prep work is, I mean, this is the proof in the pudding right here. He comes in here and he puts solid laps one after another. And, you know, the thing about Tucker is he just doesn't make any mistakes. I mean, we never talk about a bobble here, a hand come off the handlebar. He's just solid. I mean, how can you make up time on a guy who is perfection?
And the team is amazingly consistent. They've been actually at altitude close to Aspen here in Colorado for the last 2 weeks, testing at the same altitude with the same snow conditions. They know what it takes to win. And I have to tell you, Tucker walking this track at the critical time of day when it changed from light to dark was a brilliant move of a champion racer.
There was a reason he was the only one out there.
He was this lonely soul just walking around the track, and right before the final, when everybody else is feeling the pressure, he is out there checking those lines, seeing how beaten up it is. You heard from Jamie's report. He knew what to expect as soon as he was off the line. And, you know, wow, is it paying off? He's got another 0.6 of a second on Ross Martin there on that lap. Let's see what the differential is of this split. Remember, folks, Hibbert is going for the 6-peat. 6 gold medals in a row. No one had ever done that at an X Games winter event. And this is him. You see there the course crew and then Tucker, the lone soldier, and you can see the size of those features when he walks among them. Nobody else around. He is the only one doing it.
Yeah, and they didn't get a warm-up lap. And, you know, maybe some of the racers were counting on that. But, you know, Tucker did his own warm-up lap on his feet. And that's, again, a credit just to his dedication to taking the 6 X Games gold.
So he's starting to bear now on the back of the pack. We're at lap number 8. It's halfway through a 16-lap race. And for some of these guys, just getting slammed on every one of those jumps, this has got to feel like an eternity.
This uphill section coming up, this is really where I think Tucker can separate everybody. You can see he transitions to the landing so perfectly.
And really, it's all about the fitness and the cross training that keeps you going through 16 laps. Jamie, you talked to Tucker about that?
Yes, Tess, exactly. And you know, all of us, we get that question, why is Tucker so good? How is he so much better than everybody else? Because he is a student of the sport. In the summertime, he races mountain bikes and races motocross. That's another passion of his. He watches everything. He was out here watching the LCQ just to size up the competition. And by watching that race, you guys, he opted to take the second to the last gate instead of the very inside gate. And we saw it paid off on the start. So he watches every single detail, and that's what sets him apart.
Very interesting. that he took. He didn't take the inside lane. We talked about that. There he goes, starting to lap the field. That was Johan Lidman that he passed. Question is, how far is he going to lap up this field with the kind of power and precision that he's riding with today? That looks like Bowerly on the right there, making room for Tucker Hibbert.
You can see, I mean, the guys back here are just trying to survive, and Tucker he's just a master at this. He just finesse, uses less energy than everybody else, and it shows.
And one of the new things about this style of snowcross racing is how the guys really do slam off the top of all of these features. They ride a whole lot lower as well. So has to also play a lot on sled wear.
It does, and you know, they're relying a lot more on the suspension versus like basically doubling, okay? So they're pounding through the bumps and using the lip on one jump to preload them into the next. It's just this fine art, and it's how these guys just keep evolving the pace that they're able to do.
So there it looks like a little bit of a battle going on. That'll be Cody Cam, who's sitting in 4th place. And Neil Ullman, who's chasing him down. But Tucker still picking him off one by one. Is there a point now where Tucker is beginning to worry that one of these guys makes a mistake at the back of the field, fatigue or something else playing, and it affects him?
And I think that comes back to him walking the course, having option B, a different line choice. And if one of these lappers are in his primary line choice, you know, he just puts line B, like right here, pushes the competition out of the line a little bit, says, I'm coming through, here I come.
And he has lapped a bunch of the back of the field here. He's picked off at least 5 guys right now. And still charging. He has not let up one single bit since we started this race 12 laps ago.
Well, this is the pace Tucker is comfortable with. It's all he knows. We saw it in the LCQ, or the first qualifier. He had checked out from the field, but he just keeps putting in those consistent lap times.
And you saw it coming up the hill, but just slamming into the back of all those jumps. That's where the fatigue is really going to start to play. And of course, Ross Martin also has to fight his way through. So by no means easy, and I think, you know, the field, when they get lapped, maybe they're expecting someone to come through, but the point after that, you don't know whether that's the 2nd place guy, maybe somebody else is coming through.
It does get confusing. I mean, for the guys who are back in the field, you know, they're trying to stay out of the way, but at the same point, they don't want to get past with the race that they have going on either.
So moving from the light to the dark as the shadow descends over Buttermilk Mountain here. Tucker Hibbert on lap 13 of 16. Again, he is trying for the 6-peat. 6 gold medals in a row. He started getting them in 2007. And now he's looking to get number 6 here in 2013.
The uphill section is so low, but what I couldn't believe is, you know, we've seen a lot of the other guys just get really swapped out in that section, and Tucker's sled seemed to handle it really well.
So the interval now to 2nd place, over 11 seconds. And Ross Martin is an amazing snowcross racer. But look at that, 11 seconds down to Martin.
I don't know if there's a course that doesn't play into Tucker's hand, but the X Games course especially do. I mean, this is his specialty. Big, open, fast, rhythm. I mean, that's what Tucker does. He just puts down these quality laps, lap after lap, and doesn't make mistakes.
So it looks like Ross Martin is starting to fade back a little bit there. Tucker, on the other hand, just seems to be getting faster and faster as we progress through this race. When he gets to the finish line, there'll be 2 laps to go.
Right there, Tess, he moved over just a sled width coming on that uphill. You know, he looked a little squirrely if there's ever a thing for him. He looked a little squirrely on the previous lap. Moved his line over 1 and looked really smooth coming up that uphill.
And he gets down on that landing of the super booter so fast, so easy, and so smooth. And his thumb is on that throttle and delivering power the instant he lands. The dynasty of Tucker Hibbert could claim X Games' first 6-peat, here today at Aspen. And then Sean White in the super pipe tonight will try for the same task. White having a tough time when he did slopestyle and qualified second for super pipe tonight. Yuri Podlachikov, of course, qualified first. So Sean having to come from an unfamiliar position, but not Tucker. This position is incredibly familiar to him. Lead from the front, win from the front. Tucker Hibbert on lap 15. Down the super booter, look at that. Just incredible.
I cannot believe the gap that Tucker has put on the rest of this field. It truly is amazing.
I think what's surprising is not just the gap that he's putting on, it's just the fact that he is not fading. There's no fade in Tucker Hibbert. He's in the final lap, the white flag flew. Just one more set of humps, bumps, and jumps between Tucker Hibbert and X Games history here in Aspen today. He goes up the hill. He'll make the top turn and then go down to the super booter. Just incredible racing, Chris.
This has been just a complete team effort on the whole Hibbert crew. I mean, from Tucker to the sled guys, everything is done to perfection, and this is why he's a 6-time gold medalist.
It's now a 13-second interval. He's waving at the crowd. He knows this is now in his grasp. He can taste it. Tucker Hibbert, a few more turns, and he will cross that finish line. Heads down to that final berm, makes the turn for home. Here we go, folks. The first X Games Winter Event 6-peak, and it goes to Tucker Hibbert. Wow. I don't think I'd be able to lift my arms up after that.
It doesn't get any better than that. Ross Martin with a good, solid second place.
That's great second place, but let's go down to Jamie Little, who's caught up with Tucker Hibbert. Jamie.
Well, Tess, we talked about it earlier. Last March, grade 4 separation of his kidney. Thought maybe his career was over. Tucker, you fought back. What did it take to get here today, to this moment, to get the 6-peat?
It took a lot of hard work, man, I tell you. Monster Energy Arctic Cat Ram truck team has been putting in so many hours at the test track, and I got to thank God for giving me this opportunity and keeping me safe out there. The track was gnarly. We worked super hard, man. We earned this.
Congratulations, you got a lot of people to celebrate with. 6-peat, first time ever at X Games in a winter event. Tess?
Thanks, Jamie. Tucker does it here. Unbelievable SnoCross racing. They're the medalists. Tucker Hibbert, Ross Martin, Tim Tremblay, Ken Sean White, 6-peat in the pipe tonight. And don't forget, join us for Snowmobile Best Trick. We'll see you later.